Hello and welcome back to episode 2 of Sherlock Holmes, Crimes and Punishments. I'm Vic and you're watching yet another Let's Play channel. Tell me about the notebook, young man.
Does this notebook belong to you?
Yes. But where did you find it? I did not know... I thought I'd lost it at the hotel.
What do these abbreviations mean?
Oh, no. I beg you, I can't. If I told you, it would only make things worse.
But I will find out eventually, Mr. Nelligan.
Tell me about that knife that you savaged.
The sea knife was found near
the other
Carey's
one.
body. Tell me, Mr. Nelligan, did Mr. Carey try to defend himself or to attack you with it?
I don't know. I didn't kill anyone.
The police seized this valuable ring from you. Whose is it?
I didn't steal it from anyone. It has always belonged to me.
The ring's date of engraving is many years ago. You would have been a child then, hardly in any position to receive such an item from a partner.
Yeah, take that. Oh, and it's showing me how many things there are for me to notice. Yeah, so now what we're observing is there is no way that this guy drove that harpoon through that man that is much larger than him. And we're missing a couple of things. Okay, I guess I don't need to do that.
So, Mr. Nelligan, who is the true owner of the ring?
The ring is mine.
It's my precious.
No, Mr. Nelligan. I believe that the ring had belonged to your father.
Oh, but how do you know?
The jacket you are wearing is made of an expensive fabric that only a man of exceptional wealth could afford. You do not seem to me to be a rich man, Mr. Nelligan. Furthermore, the garment is ill-fitting. It is quite clear that it belonged to someone else, most probably your father. With your father gone and taking with him the family's wealth, as a little boy you had to find yourself a manual job, and it was most probably cleaning fish. You cut your hands often while working. I can tell from the scars.
I'm speechless, Mr. Holmes. It all happened exactly as you say.
Well, I will see you soon, young man.
Please, let me go. I'm innocent.
Let's see what's going on in the Mind Palace now. Swift actions. Why is the profile of Nelligan not here? Huh? Yeah, okay, so we can just go ahead and do like we did before. We need to find out whether an unskilled and untrained man could use a harpoon well enough to fully kill by fully piercing a body. Not the scrappy young man in front of us.
Stage a reconstruction. I'm sure that Watson would be happy to oblige.
Cool. I'm gonna go impale a pig with a harpoon. You just sit tight. Off we go. I feel like I should know a cute little song to whistle as I walk away to impale that pig. Baker Street. And I didn't have to do that in that order either. Okay. Hello, boyo.
A spot of whaling, Watson. Would you care to take part?
Are you serious?
No. But we do need to clarify what happened on the night of Black Peter's murder.
A reenactment, then? Is something bothering you?
The sailor's knife, Watson. Why was it on the floor?
Peter Carey attempted to defend himself?
It is possible. But if that is the case, then it alters many things.
I don't quite follow you.
Tell me, my friend, what is the animal closest to man, morphologically, I mean?
Ah, I see what you're getting at, Holmes. You asked me that once before. On the Ripper case, I believe. Do you want to slit some more pigs' throats?
No.
No.
Thank goodness for that.
I wish to impale one with a harpoon.
Wonderful.
Watson, let us pay a visit to our butcher friend in Whitechapel. We require the carcass of a well-fed pig.
And the harpoon?
One of the harpoons on the wall of Black Peter's cabin should do quite nicely.
What a fun life this guy has. Before we do that, let's check the archive and see if we can find out who that Dawson is. No. Oh, here we go.
Here it is. Now I begin to understand that young man's story, but I am still unclear as to what connects him with the murder. It is time to ask him.
Great. I think I want to do the thing with the pig first.
I need to take a harpoon with me.
Ah, right. So we'll go to Woodman's Lee. And then to the butcher. Do you think the butcher will take the pig back after we skewer it with the harpoon? Ineptly? Oh, I see the cabin is just standing open now. I guess we're done with it, right? Oh no, somebody else already stole the 2 harpoons that are remaining.
That should do it. Now I am ready for the experiment.
Can we go faster? We can go faster. Now to the butcher. Do you think we're just going to do the skewering right in the front of the shop, or are we going to go out back? Am I too excited about this? Hey, Watson, you did some setup for me.
Well, here we are in the preparation room. I can't say that I like the smell of it much. What do you intend to do?
To indulge myself in a little experiment. The challenge of lancing a pig's carcass with a heavy harpoon.
A little experiment?
Stand aside, Watson. This might be dangerous. I am not well practiced in this exercise. Yet.
Holmes, you should aim for the mark in order to perform the most reliable test. Holmes, you should try to aim better and throw as hard as you can.
Okay. So we do this, and then we do not that.
The harpoon has struck the body, but with insufficient strength to pierce it straight through.
Yeah, I think you need to do stabby to make this work.
Holmes, you should try...
Yeah, okay. It's getting wider each time. Alright. Oh, hey. We did throw it through.
This is the best possible result that I could get. Do you see, Watson? Throwing a harpoon and pinning a man to a wall requires either exceptional strength and training or diabolical luck.
If it was luck, then it was a chance in 1,000 that night.
Well, yes. Let us leave now.
All right. But before we go, I suppose I'll have to pay for all these carcasses you've happily mangled.
Very well, but please hurry.
Of course.
I mean, they're probably still edible. Alright, so now... strength requirement. No. Yeah, okay. There is a remote possibility that an unskilled and untrained man can manage to pin Peter Carey to the wall with a harpoon. I believe it's a feat of strength. And I think we're going to have to do some more investigating before we're ready to consider the rest of those. So let's go confront young Nelligan about his father's bankruptcy. It's really polite of the judge to just not do anything until we're ready.
I have heard the story of Dawson and Nelligan, the West Country bankers.
Yes. Joshua Nelligan was my father.
I am aware that it had a bad ending. When the bank failed, it ruined half the families of Cornwall, whereupon Joshua Nelligan disappeared.
My father was under extraordinary pressure. Dawson had retired. I was only 10 years of age at the time, but it was still old enough to feel the shame that befell our family. My father was convinced that he could pay off all his debts if the creditors gave him time. He set sail for Hammerfest in Norway in his small yacht, just a few days before an arrest warrant was issued. He left my mother a list of the securities he was taking. No word was ever heard from him again. We believed that his vessel went down, taking with it everyone and everything on board.
Thank you for the story, Mr. Nelligan. At last, we are making some progress. Interesting. Joshua Nelligan and Peter Carey were both at sea in Norway. There is definitely some connection between Peter Carey and Joshua Nelligan's disappearance.
Examine the ship's logs. Do we go to the archive for that? The ship's log for the year 1883. I'm betting we go to the archive for that. I do rather appreciate that the searching the archives thing is less convoluted than it was in the Sinking City. The Sinking City wasn't terrible, but there were a couple of times where I didn't feel like it was great.
My archive. My archive. I can always
I guess it's not the archive? Ship's log. Is that something that I have? No. Ah, they're back at the cabin. That makes sense. That makes more sense than them being in our archive, for sure. I wonder if anybody has made a mod that changes these cutscenes so that he blows bubbles out of his pipe. Oh. If they have not yet, They should. Yeah, there they are.
1883. That's the one I need. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. This is the crew list of the Sea Unicorn. Log notes for July. Nothing special. Log notes for August. These pages have been torn away.
Well, that's rather
Canadian
titillating.
Pacific Railway, CPR. A torn piece from a bond certificate. I have seen this abbreviation somewhere very recently. There are 3 ways of discovering what happened in August of 1883 aboard the Sea Unicorn. The first 2 of these will require speaking with a dead man. The last would be to locate vital witnesses, the sailors involved in this whale hunt campaign.
Any of them that remain alive. But I bet I know. CPR. There it is. Can I? Not yet. Why not, though? I ought to be able to. Alright, what are we doing now? Wiggins might help to find the crew. He should be somewhere at Baker Street. Oh, is it time for us to consult with the irregulars? That show was terrible. I mean, it wasn't bad if you just ignored it being a Sherlock Holmes story. But as a Sherlock Holmes story, it was garbage. So I have somewhat higher expectations for the irregulars if we're about to meet them here. Wiggins isn't the Basset Hound,
Something new, Watson. I have the list of sailors who were aboard the Sea Unicorn. We shall soon learn what happened to Nelligan's father. I have only to find them. Let us hope they're still working at the harbour.
I think that if you pretend you're from Scotland Yard...
I doubt it, Watson. And really, I would prefer that all of this remains quiet for now. But I have another solution. I'll call in the specialist.
And who might they be?
The secret police division of Baker Street.
Ah, you mean young Wiggins and his gang?
Yes. Believe me, you'll receive more useful assistance from these little urchins than from a dozen yard detectives. Those children are everywhere. They see and hear everything, and they are cunning. All they lack is organization. I'll summon them.
How will you do that?
There is always a watch beneath our window. I have only to call him.
So they're somewhat organized. Telescope. Oh no! No, Sherlock! No! No, 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 no.
Brave Toby. The best nose in the British Empire.
No.
Wiggins, could you come upstairs, please?
At your service, Mr. Holmes.
Wiggins, I need you to track down certain people for me. I'll give you a list. You can read, can't you?
Big Oliver from our gang. He can, because his father is the coachman of a famous lawyer.
Fascinating. Here is the list of sailors.
Sailors? Easy. Just got to look where the rum and the red lights are.
Sorry to trouble you, Mr. Holmes, but the inspector asks that you come to the station as soon as possible.
Thank you. I'll be there shortly.
Alrighty. One wonders what developments have transpired at Scotland Yard. The young man isn't dead, is he? That's probably in too heavy for the first case.
Mr. Holmes, I'm glad to see you.
As always. What happened?
We have a new suspect, Liam Hurtley. I'm thinking that this case will be resolved very quickly now.
Interesting. Pray tell.
Well, the constable that I left at Woodman's Lee noticed a suspicious individual prowling around during the night.
Do you have him here?
Yes. He refuses to speak with us, but we'll make him talk.
Let us hope so.
Oh, yes, and one more thing. The constable told me that at the time of his arrest, the fellow was writing a letter.
Do you have it?
Of course. It's in the evidence room. At your disposal. Admit that for once, Mr. Holmes, Scotland Yard is a step ahead of you, eh?
Breathtaking.
That was not an agreement. Evidence room. Hurtley's belongings.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Them some boots, huh?
A pen. Nothing unusual about it.
Letter.
The stains are fresh. They can be removed with the proper chemicals.
Alright, so we're going to go back to the apartment for that.
Liam Hurtley's old boots. They're a size 9.5.
Yeah, I like the size of that. Am I ready to talk to the young man again? I don't think I am. I don't need to talk to Hurtley right now. I need to gather some evidence against him, and then I'll come back and have a chat. Save some time and some fare. I don't know if Sherlock owns a carriage. I think he probably hires it. But he also doesn't seem to be overly concerned with money. Recover Hurtley's letter.
I need to prepare a chemical agent that is capable of removing fresh ink. For this purpose, the chemicals from the flasks should be combined in a certain order to perform a chain reaction. First condition, all 7 reagents should be used. Second condition, orange reagent should be the third one in the sequence after the blue reagent. Third condition, colorless reagent should be added after the orange reagent.
So it's going to be one of those, is it? Is that fun to watch? I don't feel like that's very fun to watch. If I had somebody to talk to while I was doing it, that might be okay. I think we're going to skip it. Yeah. I did as you asked and hid them well, but I beg you to reconsider, Ion, Iswa, and remember our vows. I have done nothing dishonorable for which you... me. Interesting. You know what? Before we do that, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to head over to the place. And we're going to check the boots against them prints. And after that, I think there should be some more deductions for us to make. And a conversation for us to have. That poor widow is just standing around, not knowing what to do with herself. Down, please.
These boots match the footprints exactly.
Alrighty. Well, we're approaching a something now. Hurley's footprints. Can I unmake this? No. Looks like I can't. Yeah. Should we have another chat with her about it? Let's have a chat with him about it first. He's probably going to say that he was their gardener. Scotland Yard. Wouldn't it be hilarious for just a little pile of bubbles to bubble up out of that pipe? It would be pretty funny, you gotta admit that. Okay. So did they let the kid go? They've still got his stuff. I need to go back and check this. I just remembered another thing.
These are the suspect's belongings.
Uh-huh, and we need to check.
I wonder if these are connected.
How about the CPR?
Now we have the proof that Nelligan's papers were indeed here. It seems that they have vanished, however.
Nice. And we have a new... No? Yeah, okay. That works for me. So now we'll do an interview. We still don't need to go to the morgue, I think. Oh, no interviews?
Please escort this suspect for interrogation.
Aha!
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Sherlock Holmes. I would like to ask you a few questions.
I've already told the police that I've nothing to say. And you're not even part of the police.
Precisely. And considering your situation, it might be wise to speak with someone who is, shall we say, rather more neutral. You are a suspect in a murder case.
I know. Inspector Lestrade told me. It's ridiculous.
Could you at least tell me who you are, and exactly what happened that you should be brought here?
My name is Liam Hurtley. That I can tell you. But you're not getting any more than that.
Well, we shall see.
So now I'm gonna look at you. And... oh, what is that? Look at that. A little bit of shaving cut there. Gardener's hands. I knew it. Plant remains. And a handkerchief with a crested tit.
Tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what were you doing at Woodman's Lee?
Woodman's Lee? I've never been there.
Well, that's a lie.
The second pair of boots that you had with you when you were arrested perfectly match the footprints found near the cabin where Peter Carey was murdered.
Footprints? That's your proof? How many men have boots like mine? That doesn't make me a murderer.
Well...
now that your presence at Woodman's Lee has been proven, would you care to explain it?
I don't remember. What would I be doing there anyway?
well, you're gardening.
Because you are the gardener at Woodman's Lee.
I'm not. How did you...
I observed your hands. They told me that you work with the earth. Small fragments of plants snagged to your trousers indicate that you were mowing very recently. But the most obvious clue presented itself in the bird embroidered on your handkerchief. A crested tit, if I'm not mistaken.
All right, you got me. Yes, I am a gardener, and I went there to get my tools.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me, Mr. Hurtley, what did you hide?
Hide? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I did as you asked, and hid them well.
Ah, yes.
Should I continue?
My letter? But the ink? That's impossible.
A touch of chemistry, nothing special.
Well, you're a smart one. But it's nothing. If you want to know, I was referring to my tools. It was to do with my work, see?
I will check that, Mr. Hurtley. That's all for now. Hurtley's stories are false leads, but now I know one thing for certain. I must examine the site where the garden tools are kept at Woodman's Lee.
Yeah, that seems pretty legit. However, we are all out of time for episode 2. Episode 2. Come back and see me again in episode 3, and we will examine Hurtley's tool and find what he hid there. Talk to you soon. It's gross.